Hello, hello. Welcome back. Week 6, no, week 7 waiver wires.
Week 7 already.
Yeah, week 7, yeah. Already messing up. Um, yeah, we got a lot of teams on a bye this week again with the Browns, the Bucks, the Panthers, and the Steelers. You about ready to go balls deep on this waiver wire,
I'm ready to
Josh?
take a crack at it. Yeah, we'll see what kind of magic we can work.
Um, I guess could start off at QB. Um, Main guy that I'm looking at is Josh Allen. He's um he's available right around at that 50% threshold that we're setting
Still
for
what?
ourselves.
Still widely
What's
available.
up?
I say yeah, still
Yeah,
widely
so
available.
definitely still widely available. He's playing the Dolphins this week, so they've been terrible all year, so he's got a great matchup against them. So he could potentially have a big game. Definitely a good streamer this week. Um, yeah, really, I mean, going against the Dolphins, that's all you need to know.
Yep, pretty much. Um, yeah, quarterback is a rough one. The
It
only one
is.
I was gonna dig deep is Teddy Bridgewater. He's been impressing me the last few weeks. At least moving the ball, looking good with the weapons that he has at his disposal. Widely available pretty much in every other league. Still a couple of weeks available if you're looking to get bye weeks and a couple of weeks plus. He is playing Chicago, but Chicago has been beatable just because they offensively can't put up points. But Teddy Bridgewater was the guy I was gonna go with.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I mean he's got the offensive weapons too around him, so you always like to see that.
Indeed. Um,
Another guy that I'm looking at too, potentially is Danny Dimes, who's playing the Cardinals D this week, and they've been all bad this all season too. So
getting Saquon
just
back
another,
hopefully this week.
yeah, yeah, and also hopefully Saquon, so that may be able to open up hopefully the running game will open up the passing game a little more, and could be a another good streaming option this week.
Right.
So just another guy. I know it's a little scarce for QBs, really in a lot of the positions this week.
It's depressing. A favorite of the show, Gardner Minshew, has passed our threshold. Just to mention his name, just always a.
Yes,
But he's passed our threshold
good
a
for
ton.
him. Good for him. What is he at now? Like
He's
60%,
right
I
around
think.
55% last time I did check. Uh,
Nice.
so, but just always
Well,
wanted to
good
bring
for
him up.
him.
Always a favorite of the show. I'm gonna get.
Always.
I'm growing out the mustache. I'm gonna do it for him. So
Yeah, he didn't have the impressive game that I was hoping for last game, but
I know,
hopefully
but
he'll bounce back this week.
anytime I can just mention him. I like to mention
Oh
Gardner.
yeah, definitely.
But go ahead and move on.
Yeah, that's all I got for quarterbacks. Don't know if you got anyone else.
No, not really missing a whole bunch of bye weeks. You should have dropped uh, Baker Mayfield weeks ago if you had him.
Oh,
So
definitely. And
hopefully
if
you're
you
not.
haven't,
Yeah.
and if you haven't yet, still you should drop him, especially with the bye coming up this week too.
Hmm.
Um, he still hasn't looked great. He did have a rushing touchdown this past week,
So
but
who else is missing out on buys? Who else is a bye week?
the Buccaneers, the Panthers, and the Steelers.
So yeah, not a whole lot of quarterbacks out of option. So I guess don't need. I never really did go deep into not a whole lot of fantasy valuable quarterbacks going to be missing this week.
Yeah.
But
So that's not many. That's why there's not really many. You may
hmm
not really need a QB streamer this week. You probably have a
hmm
stud already that you're starting, but just in case. Um, but I guess we can move on to running backs.
good old running
That sounds
backs.
good. The top of the guy at my list I have is Chase Edmonds,
Hmm.
and he's been looking pretty solid even with David Johnson in there. And anytime that David Johnson drops, Chase Edmonds is going to be a top 15 option.
Hmm.
He's just been looking explosive and just good. And he doesn't really have like standalone value, but just like I said, when if David Johnson gets hurt and misses time, Chase Edmonds is going to be the guy for sure.
And
So
David Johnson, he is bound to get
he's
hurt.
yeah, he's got the history with that injury issue. So
But yeah, he was one of the guys I was gonna bring up. Who's the other one? What was his name? The running back Jamal Williams. Yeah. Green
yeah,
Bay
he
running
had a
back
big game last night.
back from his injuries, and even before he did get in, he was putting up decent games, averaging
Hmm.
10 points. In our format at least. But back to stealing touches from Aaron Jones. Pretty
Which is
cakey schedule. That was only the other guy I was gonna bring up there in running backs. You
yeah, that
still.
was literally the only other guy too that I had on my list.
Mm-hmm.
It's scarce again at that position. But
Mm,
Jamal Williams, it's crazy that he came back after the injury and is already just splitting the backfield with Aaron Jones, even after Aaron Jones had that monster game where he had like I think it was 4 touchdowns
yeah.
last week.
And just
It's
how
just
fast you
crazy.
can go. Fumbled the ball. Had one very bad drop last night, and he was pretty much out of the game after that.
I, he wasn't out of the. They still split the carries. They split the workload.
Uh,
If you look at the breakdown, it's almost
after
down the middle
for the whole game or after
for the
that?
whole game.
For the whole
For the
game.
whole game. Yeah,
Okay.
because
Well,
that play happened on pretty early in the game.
yeah. Indeed. I
So and Aaron Jones, I don't think was the only person who dropped a pass last night. So I don't
no.
necessarily think Aaron Jones, even if he did drop that pass and fumbled that ball,
Mm-hmm.
would have gotten the workload. You know, I still think Jamal Williams would have been splitting that backfield.
Right.
I just think that's been the case this entire season when both of them are healthy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Matt LaFleur has historically done too. That's what he did in Tennessee, and that's what he's been doing here.
Mm-hmm. I know the Tennessee woes.
So
Well, at least I know the Tennessee woes.
yeah,
Um. Yeah, that was really you stole those two. We need to coordinate more on who we're going to talk about. So, yeah, that was
I mean
the
it's fine. I mean
no.
it's scarce. There are not many options at running back that I would recommend. So
Chase
um,
Edmonds. Yeah.
Chase Edmonds, Jamal Williams,
Yeah.
and even Jamal Williams, I still think he's like a deeper league flex
Yeah.
option because it's still
Who's gonna?
there's games where Jamal Williams you see him play and it's like why is he playing so much? And then there's games like last night where it's like holy crap, he's good.
Mm.
So it's just interesting.
Yeah, Aaron Jones is enigma. Hot one day, cold the next. Um, Jamal Williams, I think he will. He'll be there, stealing those touches, waiting for Aaron Jones to f it up. Yeah, moving right along. Wide receivers.
Um, yeah, the top guy that I got is Jamison Crowder, available right at around 50%. You know, Sam Arnold came back last week
Mm-hmm.
and he's looking,
Whole different
you know,
team.
when little whole different team. And yeah, I mean they've got a tough matchup against the Patriots this week, but after that, I mean you like what you see, and Jamison Crowder's the main receiver. He's the top guy there.
They still
And
got Robbie Anderson.
yeah, true, but I think I think Jameson Crowder has the most targets and has had the most production.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I just
Uh,
think for how much he's available in leagues, like I think you should go get him.
yes, yes. Their game script's gonna be right. He's gonna be passing the ball. Um, Man, the only other guy I wanted to bring up was Antonio Brown. No, I'm just kidding. Uh
Hey, he wants to play.
he want
He's coming back.
he wants to play. Sad to see him out of a job. Just sad.
Yeah, no.
But moving right along. The only other option I would really well wouldn't even want to bring him up really. But McCole Hardman. Just again, any piece if he's still available in your league, any piece of the Kansas City offense. he would have been my pick before I did just pick up DK Metcalf. Has a nice couple of games coming up if you're looking for a couple of bye weeks. If you're like me, if you have Michael Thomas followed by Odell Beckham, he has a nice soft couple of weeks and he's widely available. I just believe it's Russell Wilson's always going to be Russell Wilson's offense, but they're gearing more towards the run. But it's going to be DK Metcalf who keeps that run honest with his big playability and his speed downfield.
Oh, definitely.
It's just a matter of time. He's gotten 31 targets, only turned in 16 receptions. So I mean, the volume's there, and he's a rookie. It's not like Russell Wilson's going to just stop believing in him. He's still a rookie. The volume's gonna be there, and the big play touchdown ability is gonna be there, always there in the Seahawks offense, and that pretty much covers wide receivers for me. Was my main pickup was DK Metcalf this week.
No, I definitely agree with DK Metcalf. You said you had mentioned Mecole Hardman?
Mm-hmm.
See, so I would actually disagree with that. Right now I'm not liking the Kansas City offense unless it's obviously Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill who just came back, and
yeah.
I think Tyreek Hill coming back is the biggest reason why I'm not really trusting any other wide receiver. Because he cuts into a lot of their production and targets, and even before Tyreek Hill, the weeks leading up to it, you kind of saw a drop in production in Mecole Hardman and.
Yeah, it's the word of the league right now. Is they're saying a lot of people have figured out Kansas City, which is just get pressure on them and he'll fold. But that's pretty much the key to any quarterback is you get pressure on them. I mean, so I don't know why that's the talk of the league. He hasn't been spectacular the last few games, but I still have faith in Patrick Mahomes. And in the sense of Tyreek Hill is when you miss time, it only develops the bond with everybody else more. So in that sense, I think that I don't know. He's always while Tyreek Hill was out, he relied on Mecole Hardman and Sammy Watkins a little bit, but I just think the connection's there and it's going to stay there. And Tyreek Hill only coming back only would help Mecole Hardman. Now he's one less down the list, getting guarded by number 3, number 4 corners. Yeah, that was all I would go with. But DK Metcalf.
I'm still more on. I still think it's a risky play, but
any piece of that Kansas City offense, they explode any week, and right now that's.
But even the backfield though, I'm not touching that backfield either.
No one in the backfield. No, not any piece of the Kansas City offense. No one in the backfield right now. All droppable.
Well, I wouldn't say droppable. I wouldn't drop Damian Williams. I don't know. But.
Yeah. But LaShawn McCoy.
But
Darwin Thompson.
Yeah, but I just don't trust any of the. Honestly, I don't. Unless I have Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, or Travis Kelce, I don't. Those are the only 3 people I feel comfortable starting in that offense.
Oh no.
At this moment.
Indeed.
And that's my honest opinion.
Indeed.
But I did have another receiver though that I wanted to bring up, and that's Auden Tate, and he's just continues to be busy in that offense, and that pass-heavy offense, and the Bengals are just brutal. They're terrible, and they continue to be playing from behind, and Andy Dalton's going to continue to throw it a bunch. So, he's one of the few young bright spots on that team. So I think he should be considered in like any league. Especially with AJ Green still gone. I mean, there's still, there's talks of him maybe getting traded. I don't know.
Indeed. On Tate.
So he's just been pretty solid so far, and I think he's a solid option.
Yep, that's what I got there, bro.
But yeah, that's all I got for wide receivers. Yeah, we can move on to tight ends. Another scarce spot now.
Yeah, I
Um,
hate tight ends.
I do want to bring up one person, and that's Hunter Henry. And I
Yeah.
know he's not, and I know he's not, he's over our threshold of 50%. But I do just want to bring up that last week, I don't know if you remember this, but I did say to go get him.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
And look what happened. He went on
Mm-hmm.
in a big way. So I just wanted to bring that up. That was it. Because I know you were saying you were staying away.
Not just because of his long-term injury concern,
Yep.
but yes, if you need to pick him up for a game or two, then yes, definitely.
But I was saying pick him up last week ahead of everyone else
Yeah.
because I didn't even think he was going to play last week, and he ended up playing.
Yeah.
You know.
No,
anyway.
I hear you. You called that one, but
I'm just
yeah,
gloating a little bit.
I'm just saying it wasn't talent. I drafted him this year. You know what I mean? I love the talent. It's just it was his injury concern was my only thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Really, the only guy that I have on my list is Chris Herndon, and you know he's back from suspension. Was supposed to come back this past week, but you know he was dealing with that hamstring injury that delayed his season debut. He looked very promising in his rookie season, and now he's got Sam Darnold back in that offense, so he could be a very valuable part of that red zone offense. So, and you know it's a very thin position, so just the guy to be looking out for.
The only other guy I would even mention, man, Noah Fant, possibly if you're in really, really deep need of a tight end. Only in the sense he didn't turn in the most amazing game this last week, but he was targeted 5 times in the Denver offense. Yeah, just tight ends, man. Depressing to even talk about right now. It's hopefully you drafted one. If I had to dig deeper, would be Kyle Rudolph again. Hopefully he builds on last week. Kirk Cousins, hopefully he builds on the performance he had last week, and that Minnesota offense gets going. They have a nice, easy schedule coming up for the next 6 weeks. Yeah, if he's going to do anything, it would be starting to go now. So, but yeah, it's depressing. I feel like it's really hard to talk about tight ends, but those would be the only two I would trust if I needed to pick one up for a weekly flex, weekly play.
And speaking of tight ends, OJ Howard, I think I'm ready to drop him.
Yep.
I think I'm to that point. I know he's got all the talent, and I was holding on to him because of that, but he's just not getting used enough. And he's in games where Jameis Winston's throwing over 50 times. He's just barely seeing the ball, and we're seeing Cameron Brate getting the ball more. And that's weird. And I'm done being patient with him. I think you should drop him.
No, definitely he is on my list of drops. I have to hold on to him right now because he is my only backup tight end. But once Andrew is done with his bye, yeah, no, he's 100% droppable. I have to hold on to if that was speaking to me. But yeah, no, he's very, very depressing. For the talent there, it is. It's so weird. But what can you do?
It's mind-boggling. Yeah, I know. What can you do? Well, speaking of drops, I guess we should, since I feel like we're done talking about the scarce options and waivers. Feel like we should talk about the options or the people we should probably drop off our lineups. I know we mentioned Baker already. If you haven't,
we've
you
been
still have him.
Baker for weeks. Yeah.
We've been mentioning them. Just reiterate. He's going to be on this list every week, probably. But the reason I bring him up though is he's still rostered in 70% of leagues. That's crazy, I think, and he shouldn't be. Obviously OJ Howard. Another guy though is Chris Thompson. He's always dealing with injuries. Now he's got this foot issue, and he's got a tough schedule coming up against the 49ers, the Vikings, the Bills, and then a bye in Week 10. I just don't really see a whole lot of value holding on to him for that long.
Mm-hmm.
So I drop him.
One guy I am holding on to in my work league right now is Joe Mixon, who is completely tradable, completely droppable, almost at this point. Just Cincinnati's offense.
Mixon's bad.
Yeah, Joe Mixon. That was one I would have brought. I know we were going to go that far, but that's just one name I can throw out there, just off of personal experience right now. And also Marvin Jones for the Lions turned in a horrible game against Green Bay. If you've been holding on to him, you know it's been it's been up and down. He has been performing, but not to the tune you would have hoped. Marvin Jones, Detroit. But those are the only ones I guess I can bring up off the top of my head for you.
Kenyon Drake, he should be dropped.
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
Well, he's rostered in like 70% of leagues, which is a lot. That's a lot, and it's too much. The Dolphins suck, and I don't really think you should have any part of that team. Mm-hmm. And it's not like the Dolphins are going to be really in any situation where Drake is going to be getting the ball and pounding it down the field.
Mm-hmm. Maybe throw in a little Tariq Cohen into that conversation. Also, the number 2 man in the Chicago running back, but he was also heavily drafted. I don't know how rostered he is, but I can imagine I see him in every league I am playing. He's there. So he's probably highly rostered, but Tariq Cohen. Volume-wise, it's still David Montgomery is the lead guy. Tariq Cohen's just a Swiss Army knife, but it's just so super touchdown dependent. It's either touchdown or nothing with Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, it's just hard to predict.
Yeah, and while David Montgomery will average his 10 points, just getting steady volume, but no, Tariq Cohen also. Yeah, Tariq Cohen completely droppable. Nope.
But yeah, that's all the guys I had on my list.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's the state of fantasy football right now.
Yeah, hopefully you guys got a win this past week.
Yep.
And hopefully you'll get a win this upcoming week.
We can only hope. Season's still early. It's still a lot of fantasy football left to be played. It's a weird year. Yeah. Just studs underperforming, bums overperforming. I feel like there was a cosmic shift right when the playoffs hit last year. Some polar switch happened, and it just hasn't reverted yet. But it will. Hold faith, and hopefully we all do get a win.
Amen.
Indeed. That's all I got for tonight, buddy.
Yep.